Hi everybody, this is Blossom. So it took me a bit longer to do this video because life was a bit difficult, but everything is alright now. I just shortly explain my last week my husband was in the hospital, so yeah, everything goes a bit upside down and I was so worried. But now everything is fine again, so I will do this video about the willow today. So the willow is number 4 of the Ogham fuse, and I worked a lot with willow this past week. Now, what can we say about the willow? So, the willow is also Saille or Saille. I'm not really sure how you pronounce it. I would say Saille. We can find it in the tree calendar from April the 15th until May the 12th. Then the letter is S. The animal is associated with it is hare, cat or hawk. And for the colors we have mostly it is explained mostly as bright colors or haze. And the flower associated with the willow is the primrose. So as always we start with the lore and legend. The willow used in the Ogham is not the famous weeping willow that everybody knows, but it is the pussy willow. But they have similar energies. So, willow is a peasant tree, and the willow trees are associated with the moon and with water, because willow thrives near water, and their position by river banks naturally connects them to the alder as well that we saw last week, or I don't know exactly when. Their connection with water reminds us of the associations with the other world in the Celtic mind, be it fairy, the underworld, or the ancestors, or even the realm of the gods. It is also sacred to the moon. The feminine qualities of flow and flexibility and the wisdom of the instincts and emotions are all present in the willow tree's energy. And so its position, so often near water, yet actually preserving the dry land, illustrates its lesson of holding these qualities in balance with the demands of our often more solar daily lives. So, and as it is connected to the moon, so the moon has associations with the feminine cycle, and also with intuition, imagination, and instincts. That hidden thread of knowing that defies logic and the rational mind. The moon is the unseen and indefinable, the yet to be, the becoming. To see by the light of the moon is literally to see things in a new light, where some details will gain greater significance, while others will become more obscure. We if you come now, I think most people are tarot readers, you know what the moon card means. The moon has been worshipped as a goddess for a long time, and the willow is a special tree to help understand her ways and her wisdom. So the willow is also sacred to the Welsh goddess Cerridwen, and for this reason, who rules over the moon, her cauldron of transformation bestows poetic vision, otherwise known as psychic ability or prophecy. So psychic vision, often known as seership in the Celtic lands, was a gift that was highly respected and valued, which is beautiful when you think about our times, when you call yourself like a psychic or a seer or anything, you know, just being a tarot reader, and you're a bit already like, nah, I don't know, not everybody reacts, with that not everybody shows respect to it. But yeah, at this time it was highly respected. And the seers were able to glimpse through the veil into the heart of events, perceive the spirit world, and give prophecy and advice. So the willow has always been associated with seers, with divination, clairvoyance and magic, as well as emotional sensitivity and empathy. Like the willow, at the water's edge, it supports people who stand between two realms, the mortal world and that of spirit. Willows were often used by the Celts for the making of baskets, fences and coracle boats. There are many tales of travelers, shamans and transgressors being sent over the ninth wave. I will show a picture here. I just simply did that because the ninth wave, I don't know if you're familiar with the band Blind Guardian, but it's actually a song. Just check it out, it's awesome. So yeah, they were being sent over the ninth wave on vessels made of willow to travel to shores unknown. Willow is also connected with bees and messengers between the mortal world and the gods, and honey, which was often used to describe the gift of prophecy upon the tongue. The bards of old were powerful magical practitioners, able to weave spells and transformations with their poetry and song, or inflict terrible curses upon those that they satirized. The willow was a powerful ally to bards, and harps were traditionally made of willow. Not only it was an excellent wood for their construction, but because the spirit of the willow would magically support their work, increasing the flow to and from the other world. So normally I stay in the Celtic tradition. I just go quickly to Hecate. So another goddess who is associated with the willow is Hecate. She is usually depicted carrying a torch, and whilst today she is usually considered a Crone Goddess, originally she had 3 faces of equal age. Not, maiden, mother, crone, but equal faces. She has rulership over earth, sky and sea, and she is a light bringer. However, her triple nature also connects her with the 3 phases of the moon, hence her connection to all plants under its rulership, and here especially the willow. Hecate ruled over all liminal spaces, especially gateways and the wilderness. And again we see the connection with willow as a tree linking the waters of the other world with the land and mortal realm. Hecate is also associated with ghosts, demon and the dead. She was closely related to witchcraft and sorcery, and offerings at 3-way crossroads were made at the full moon to seek her protection from evil spirits. And she was also said to be able to create or hold back storms and rain. And then we come back to the Celtic gods. So the connection with weather magic can also be seen with the Celtic goddess Brigid, who is said to bring the spring after defeating the old woman of winter. And at Brigid's special festival, Imbolc, she is said to carry a white willow wand tipped with an acorn she uses to control the weather. We see again the willow functioning as a mediator and moderator of liminal spaces. In this instance, the boundaries between winter and spring, another clue to the willow's energy and magic. It is one of the few trees which can regenerate and make a new tree with a single branch or twig planted in the soil. And it's really super easy because it works every time. And actually you have to be careful because afterwards you have like willows everywhere and they grow and just grow, and it's, you can nearly not destroy them, which is great. Now, the willow also has another facet, the comforter. The chemical salicin present in all willow species has great pain-killing properties, which have been used since ancient times and are still used in modern medicine today. So many painkillers contain that. So the energy of the willow assists in easing the difficult feelings that arise from periods of change and the sense of loss that often follows. Yeah, it can be seen as having an affinity with motherly and crone energies for this reason, soothing the pain of sacrifice and the bitterness of letting go. So the willow has a reputation for being associated with grief, sadness, and healing of sorrow. So weeping willow. Again, related to its connections with water and emotion, it can help ease these sorrows by coming to terms with the ebb and flow and making peace with the emotional, intuitive and subconscious sides of life. So that's it for the lore and legend of the willow. Now let's have a look at the magical use. So you can use willow wands for protection and guidance for otherworld and underworld journeys, and as a tool to help anchor someone with psychological or emotional distress. So this is a willow wand. There we go. And it can also be used for weather magic, healing and fertility spells. Or you can also sleep with a wand to have more vivid dreams. When you tip the wand with an acorn, it becomes the phallic life-giving wand that impregnates all it touches with new life and vigor. Willow is also good for all sorts of moon magic, of course. And willow whips or cord are good for binding spells. You can use willow to make talismans for love and healing spells, and to align yourself closer to the lunar goddess, or just, even if you don't work with deity or with, with some kind of goddess, just to the lunar energy. When you carry a piece of wood, it will give bravery and help you to overcome fear of death. If one needs to get something off their chest or to share a secret, confess to a willow and your secret will be trapped. Yeah, I talked a lot lately with my willow. Well, I talk a lot with it anyway. So magical brooms, witch brooms, are traditionally bound with a willow's branch. Willow branches are said to be the best for divining water, channeling earth energy, and to find lost objects. So next time you lose something, use a willow branch and try to find it. Yeah, so you can use willow leaves in mixtures or carry them in a pouch to attract love. So you could do an incense mix with dried willow leaves, or just carry the leaf with you in your pouch or so in order to attract love. If you want to conjure spirits, mix crushed willow bark with sandalwood and burn this mix at the waning moon outdoors. This is coming from Scott Cunningham, there we go, in his book Herbal Magic or Magical Herbs or something like that. So if you let's see, for a wish to be granted, ask permission of the willow, explaining your desire. Select a pliable shoot and tie a loose knot in it while expressing what you want. And when the wish is fulfilled, return and untie the knot. And of course, remember to thank the willow and leave a gift. So what you could do, the last gift that I left the willow as an offering was actually moon water. Just an idea. Now, for more Willow magic, I will put a video up again with spellcrafting. In this case, it is a healing spell with Willow. So if you are interested, I will leave the link below. Now, for the healing properties. So as a herbal medicine, it has pain-killing uses, as we saw before, and it's also good to lower fevers. And there are many uses with the bark, with the leaves, but as you know, I don't go too much into that because I just don't want to be responsible for if anything goes wrong. As a vibrational essence, it is used as a remedy for bitterness and resentment. People who are stuck in a position of blaming others or circumstances for their problems, who have an experience of being a victim or being treated unfairly by life, who would benefit from this essence. So, there we go. The willow teaches us to surrender completely to our emotions from time to time in order to gain deeper understanding of ourselves and our hidden motives and any secret fears and desires, as well as to help us release suppressed emotions that cause stress and illness. And this is exactly what I was experiencing. There were so many suppressed emotions, and it all came out. It all came out. So that's actually a good thing. But it, you know, the circumstances could have been better. But you know, all right. Willow also helps to restore flow and harmony within ourselves and in the world around us, the world that we create, you know. It also helps to come to terms with intuition and repressed feminine aspects in both sexes. This is also something that I deal with for a long time, you know, that suppressed female energy. But I'm working on it, so. Now, the last part, I promise, for the divination, if you get Willow in a reading. Now, Willow suggests harmony and balance, being in tune with feeling and wisdom that comes from the other world sources and dreams. It encourages flexibility, especially emotionally and practically, to help expand awareness and knowledge of the other world, as well as altered states of consciousness. It encourages healing and a gentle, forgiving attitude. It also reminds you of the healing virtue of tears. Now is the time to tune into your heart and to move forward aligned with the heart's wisdom. So we had with other trees before a bit to be more practical, and here we have again to move, to listen, to really listen to the heart, to your intuition, and so on. So you can access otherworldly magic and insights. Remember, the other world is not a place of sorrow, but of ease and refreshment, because often, you know, the other world or the underworld, it can frighten us, but it's not. When Willow comes up, it reveals your feminine side, which when combined equally with male energy gives balance to life. There may be an indication to pay attention to your feminine nature, showing a spiritual imbalance or conflict when you get this in reading. So this may be the beginning of a period of unfolding and growth of psychic or clairvoyant powers, and includes the gift of cunning, which is actually the skillful use of mental powers. There is an indication towards intuition, imagination, and occasionally self-deception. Usually the appearance of Willow means the awakening of dormant abilities and heralds a time of enchantment. New currents are flowing under the surface, so you need the flexibility to adapt to the coming changes. You may be asked to use your intuition, your hunches, instead of logic in order to get a clear view of events. So again, as I said before, it is listening to something else. It is not that being super practical, but it is much more, yeah, much more high priestess, if I may say so. Now that's all I have. As always, the text will be on my homepage for the Willow. You find it by Ogham. First I have an introduction, and then I have the different tribes of the Willow, Ogham, or Ogham, or however you want to say it. And you can find Ogham of Beth on my homepage, so you can read it if you want. I'll read it again and again. I also give you the sources where I have it from, because that's not coming from me clearly. Because all that information, of course, I have it from somewhere. But I'm just wondering, for those, as I said already in the last video, I know those videos are not my most popular, and they never will be, because Ogham is not very popular. But if you have worked with the Ogham, what are your experiences? I would be curious, because I have very strong experiences with the Ogham, and yeah, I would love to know if you have worked with them already or anything. So that's it for today. And yeah, again, check my other video with the spellcraft with the Willow if you want to. Of course, again, you don't have to. So thank you very much for watching. Much love and blessings, and bye bye.